Welcome to the Smart Influencer podcast. If you're tired of chasing algorithms, second guessing your strategy, or feeling like you're doing all the things without seeing the growth you want, you're in the right place.
We're your hosts. I'm Christina,
And I'm Corinne.
and we're bloggers, business owners, systems nerds, and founders of the Smart Influencer. Between the two of us, we've built multiple six-figure brands, launched digital products, hosted live events, and coached creators who are ready to level up.
Each week, we break down what's actually working in today's creator economy, from monetization and list growth to systems, automation, and building a business that doesn't own you. Because this isn't about hustling harder.
It's about building smarter. Let's get into it.
So today we are chatting with Peter Sullivan of Allspice Labs, I guess, about his product Allspice and how it can help food bloggers in our space. So welcome to the show, Peter. Why don't you tell our listeners a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, thanks for having me. Nice to see you guys again. So I'm one of the founders of Allspice Labs, and we'll get into more details throughout the show. But at a high level, what it is it's a software company that builds products for both at-home cooks as well as recipe publishers.
Okay, awesome. I know I met you at Tastemaker and was blown away kind of by the product that you have out there and all the different features. And I know like sometimes when I get excited about things, I tell people it's like drinking from a fire hose. And I kind of felt like you guys had so many awesome things going on that it was like, oh my gosh, I can't like understand it all. I need to take a minute to process all the things you're doing, but it's pretty cool what you're doing. So can we just jump right in
Yeah,
and
no, for
talk about
sure. And
it?
it is a lot, I will say. Even from our end, there can be so many just different features and topics to cover across the board. And it's really because we started about 3 years ago, and it's been 3 years of building. So as you can imagine, there's just been so many different products and iterations that have come. So there really is a lot. But ultimately, what it is we started by building an ingredient database 3 years ago. And now we have one of, I would say, if not the most robust ingredient database in the United States. So, what that means really is if you just think of ingredients like chicken, steak, salted butter, unsalted butter, and
Mhm.
then all of the different data points that could go into every single ingredient, like how long till it expires from when it's in the fridge or in the freezer, or when you open a container, as well as just how different ingredients scale and transition if they're in a grocery list and how you buy that versus if it's in a recipe.
Mm.
So that's really the engine that powers all of these different experiences. And then when we get into the experiences, what we've built out is a plugin, a WordPress plugin for publishers to use features like grocery lists, pantry tracking, an AI agent, recipe saving, meal planning, all of these tools that we were seeing at home cooks going to other places like ChatGPT or mobile apps for, giving those premium features to the recipe publishers to white label to their own brand, and use it as a way to try to increase engagement and keep readers on their page.
Okay. So cool. Like I know like the interface that you have is really, really cool, but what is like the benefit for bloggers to be using Allspice and to have it on their site? What's the benefit for the blogger on that end?
Yeah, at a high level, I think there's a number of different ways you can go with this. But at a high level, the goal is to improve user experience
Hmm.
and keep people on your page throughout the cooking experience, as well as just keep them coming back for things that they might not have been doing on the page originally. So, for example, one feature in Allspice is the ability to create and save multiple grocery lists. So, if a user creates an account and they create three different grocery lists, maybe their go-to groceries, and then they surf across your blog and they add three different recipes to a different grocery list. We then give them the ability to go back and have a checkable list or order. So someone could be walking through the aisle in the grocery store on your website while you're getting that session time, and they're walking through and checking through the ingredients. Another thing is just kind of the basic pantry feature. So someone orders their groceries or they do that. And then I'm personally not someone who tracks my pantry or has ever found interest in being organized enough to do that. But in our study, we found that there are a lot of people that are very into it and pretty OCD about it. So what we do then is just kind of take the grocery list and put it into a digital pantry per se. So a user could go and find recipes based on what they have or see when their ingredients expire. Um, and then the last thing is the guided cooking experience. So if you've seen kind of what some of these tools like Claude or Gemini have been releasing, Claude just put out a step-by-step cooking experience, which has timers, step-by-step instructions in chat recipe card. It's very similar to that, but it's just obviously on your site. So someone could go have a step-by-step cooking experience on your site with the AI agent that's pulling information from your comments, from your FAQs, from the body of your page, to not hallucinate as much or give you answers that would not necessarily come from you. So long story longer, the main benefits are just to keep people on the page as well as give them the full cooking life cycle experience and spend time on the site to do things that they might not have been doing before.
Okay, so a couple questions. With the grocery list, do you guys, I can't remember, do you integrate with like shopping services so they can order their groceries directly from the app?
Yeah, exactly. So on your site, they could change from Amazon Fresh, Whole Foods, Instacart, and then as well as the user, if they want to turn on their location, it can pull grocery stores around them to order from. Um, but those are the big three right now, and then
And
working
is
on
there a
actual.
revenue share for the publisher on those purchases?
Yes. So Amazon Fresh and Whole Foods don't have a direct partner program besides the like affiliate links.
Right.
However, Instacart does. So that revenue will be passed back to the creators.
So for
Um,
Amazon, if they order Amazon, I think most Amazon groceries don't fall, like they aren't eligible for
Right.
affiliate commission anyway. But in the rare case that they are, someone adds, is it somehow attaching the Amazon affiliate link? Sorry, I'm asking literally the questions I truly, truly have. So this is
no, yeah, that's a good question. So the way that it's built out, if someone just were to go and build a grocery list, say they add like carrots to their grocery list, that obviously wouldn't have an affiliate link. But if you have affiliate links embedded into your recipe card, into say the ingredients, and that would say then bring you to Amazon, the recipe card and the Allspice card, we're hyperlinking those as well. So someone could click those links and bring it to your affiliate link within Amazon. That update actually just got launched today, so that's
Oh,
timely.
cool.
So I'm going to brag on you for just a minute because I only recently discovered you. I did not go to Tastemaker, and I know Christina had talked with you and she'd mentioned you, but I hadn't connected the dots between that was, Allspice. She just came back very excited about something. And so I didn't know till I got on with you. And the thing that really impressed me on our call was one, how blogger forward you are. Like you're so focused on the
Yeah.
user engagement, but keeping the blogger in that loop, right? Like really looking at where is this hurting bloggers? Like what are these other apps they're using? So like for anyone listening, like this is a lifeline that's been thrown to us, right? Like our readers are leaving to go use other apps that are stealing traffic from us in a sense, right? Like or pulling our page views. And you've really found a way to still serve the user in a very helpful
Yeah.
way and actually better than these apps because you're doing it all from where you like landed in the first place without punishing the blogger. And then the other thing to that point is the dashboard that you've created where like it's kind so on the front end, I'll be honest, listeners, on the front end, it's a little frustrating because you got to set some stuff up. They don't automatically toggle everything on for you because they've given us so much control over which features we're going to use, how it's going to appear on the site. I just, as a blogger, it's so refreshing to see someone working so hard to be like working in tandem with us, still with the goal of being a good steward to the end user. Like it's so there's no question here, just a kudos.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And the same I would extend to two of my business partners, Will and Brandon, as well as the rest of the engineers working on the team. I think we're truly like a research and data company at our core. That's really our foundation. And
Yeah.
so before we even started building or writing any of the code for the WordPress plugin, it was probably about 6 months of just publisher interviews and talking to people in the community to understand the different perspectives. Um, so yeah, it really has kind of been a product of the environment and a kind of questionnaire first before building. And then to the point around the setup, I will say we've got a nice facelift coming in a couple months to hopefully make it easier to add different type of buttons to the
Oh,
page.
cool.
But additionally, we definitely tried to make it as configurable as possible. I think creator first platforms where you're able to kind of make decisions on your own
Hmm.
with while being informed by the data of different data points of what works or what things might be helpful is key. And that's where I think like WordPress is such a good tool because you can add which plugins you want to add. So we've tried to make it similar in a way where meeting creators where they're at and still allow them to have their creator first perspective and creative perspective of how they would want to implement on this site and which features they'd want to use where. So yeah, no, I appreciate that.
And I'll also, just to piggyback off of what she said, when we spoke, Peter, we did a lot of, idea sharing back and forth, but I mentioned it would be so helpful if you had some email boilerplate copy that we could use to send to our readers to tell them what exactly the features are that they can take advantage of as a user on our site. And I think by like the next morning, you're like, yeah, I got that done. That's in the hub. You can go download that right now. I'm like,
I
to
forgot
me,
about that.
yeah,
Yeah.
that was so responsive. Well, I didn't forget about that because that was so responsive, and it just sets the tone that you are, creator forward in this. Like you're considering all the parts of this, and they all carry equal weight. And to me, that
Okay,
was super helpful.
where is that? Because I'm in my dashboard now. I want to find that. That's very helpful.
Yeah, so that would be the media hub on the
Okay.
left side, the bottom button.
Got it.
Um,
Okay.
so
Thank
it's
you.
a bunch of pre-built
Oh
voice
yeah,
recordings
social.
and
Right? So
some
that you
Oh,
can
videos.
communicate right to your readers exactly how they can make the most of these features for
yes.
them.
That's very
Right?
cool.
So put that in your email newsletters, like your welcome series, share it on social, do a post about it. Yeah.
Okay, we're going to circle back because I love the tool. I want people to understand what the tool does, but we are not making great use of having you on the podcast if we only talk about Allspice, only because you did do so much research and you really do seem to understand the space. And I think you've got some interesting insights on what's happening in the general landscape. And I'd love to talk to you as someone that's not necessarily a blogger, right? Like,
Mhm.
but it has a view of what's happening because I know you've got some thoughts on this and I'd like to hear that perspective just on like the general landscape of where we're living right now and how AI is impacting it and where things are going, and most importantly what opportunities exist in this despite the fact it might feel a little rocky and uncomfortable for some of us. That was a lot. Just take whatever one you want.
Yeah, sure. I think there's a lot of points to go into that, but at the end of the day, I think we're getting to a point where AI will and almost does know everything. And it is extremely smart and it is extremely helpful. So there is a side of it where it can be annoying, where it's definitely a problem where it's pulling from creators published hard work and content and utilizing that information. But at the same time, I do think there's it's not one of those things you can't really fight. It's one of those things you kind of got to grab onto and look on the optimistic side that there is opportunity in it, because it's extremely engaging. And then it's kind of just taking a grasp of those tools. And so with that, I think even things we've noticed, we were on Netflix the other day, one of my business partners, and we saw that Netflix switched to like an AI type search. So it's kind of like a chatbot search to find different
Mm.
shows. And so that's something that we're evaluating of just engagement points of maybe we have our native search, or you have that as an option for publishers to use things like that. Another lens of something that I think is interesting on studies that we've shown. Um, People are definitely going to AI as one, but people are also going to recipe saving mobile apps. And that's another thing that's just not going anywhere. There, I think Resemi published on their Instagram. If you guys are familiar with Resemi or like a Paprika, it's a their their marketing line is save recipes from anywhere.
Right.
Um, so the idea is you save recipes from anywhere, social media, PDF, a recipe blog, and then you can have your organized recipe folders. Those apps have gotten hundreds of millions of downloads and users. And then they published that there were over 500, or it was either 500 or 700 million minutes spent cooking in their apps. So there's two things that are clear. The first is that users find that extremely beneficial to be able to save their recipes in a centralized location. And the second is that they're just taking the traffic and time spent on site um, from publishers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really not the end of the day. I think when you take it from when someone takes a picture of grandma's PDF and has that and they're cooking the step by step from that. But as soon as then we're taking it from the publisher site, we're serving ads, that's
Right.
like money in one person's pocket to the other. Um, so big thing we're trying to do in like transitioning those people away from those apps is offer a similar feature of like a recipe saving kind of cookbooks that people can heart recipes to and have that single repository where they can organize the recipes and then like share them with their family and friends. But then we block off the instructions and we just have a little bubble that explains why it's important for the user to just go back to the publisher's site. And so then to view the instructions, they have to click that and that will send them back to the site. And also it's like, hey, you're going to now get these Allspice experiences on their site as well. Um,
So, Peter, real quick though, like as a blogger, obviously I love that. As a user though, like I'm curious to, and I know you look at the data. What's the data showing you? Like are users of the app irritated by that? Or is
yeah, they
there
are irritated.
Mhm.
I will say at the end of the day, they're irritated for sure. Not everyone's irritated, but there were definitely like a few reviews of people being and emails being like, what the heck? But I think it actually all just stems from like a user experience perspective because a lot of the people of what they were saying was like, I can't do like the timers and the step-by-step cooking all engaged in this. And also people were like, I was using Resemi because I didn't have to deal with like all the ads everywhere on my page.
Right.
So I think those are like the two key points of like just user experience. But then at the end of the day, like if we're offering these tools on the site, there's always going to be friction with change. And so you kind of have to get through that a little bit with users and then always kind of adjust and make changes based off what people are asking for. But there are certain things where it's like at the end of the day, it's like there's going to be a give get somewhere of like, got to go back to the page if, you know.
Right.
Right. So as bloggers, like to reduce that friction, like would it be more, and I just feel like I'm going to make people angry. But the reality is, we are serving actual people that have other options, right? Like to run fewer ads, say, or is your app doing more in terms of the services that I haven't used Resemi. I know that it exists. They serve me ads all the time. They'd love for me to download their app. I don't know exactly what it does. Like, are you at this point with Allspice offering more functionality in terms of what someone can do with the app than say Resemi is, so that maybe yes, they've got to put up with the ads, but they're getting this, this, and this, and it balances. I
Yeah,
don't know.
no, definitely. That was a big thing we thought about. It was pretty much like you you kind of just like have to get to the point of being like the best.
Right.
And like they're inherently like the product will like speak to itself to a point. So we're like, all right, like let's master the recipe saving, but then also the pantry tracking and grocery lists and grocery integrations. And then we have this proprietary ingredient database. So it allows us to do so much. So we've even built like an AI assistant that can go and build grocery lists for you.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
question about him really quick.
yeah.
Pico, it's fine. Pico, like it's a fun name to say, but I tried to change the name on mine because it gave me the option to, but then it wouldn't take the name that I gave it. So is that a thing? Like, can I actually change the name or are we just stuck with Pico? And if so, how do we come up with Pico?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So my business partner Will came up with Pico because we were gonna do like a fun kind of Duolingo style mascot,
Oh,
and it was a parrot. So he
oh,
was like, "All right, Pico the parrot, and like
I
let's
like
make
it.
a spicy parrot." So
oh, I
that
like
might
that.
still be on the roadmap of like a mascot, but you can change the name of the chatbot on your site. The UI might have, let me just double check into that, been responsive. You have to submit it and then we just approve it. We're
Okay.
using that as just a mechanism to make sure there were no kind of,
Inappropriate
Yeah.
ones.
yeah, inappropriate or
I
confusing.
know a couple people that would have done that, and neither of them are on this podcast.
But
No. Oh, okay. Maybe
yeah,
that's
we
maybe I
can,
just
I can check in on that.
okay.
That's the thing that I love is they're so responsive. I think when we were speaking to, we were talking about my husband wanting me to make different lists that they could go to see like when I ask the question, what do you guys want for dinner tonight? And they're like, we don't remember all the things that we could ask for. So they ask for the same five things. They're like, you should make a list of these things. And I'm like, Peter should make a list of these things. In recipe, like or not recipe in Allspice, let me make a, like curate those lists for them. But you're like just so receptive to things like that. So my
That's
one question is there any way to utilize, I know this is solely like a food blogger centric platform. Is there a way to utilize it if you're not a food blogger?
At the moment, no.
Okay.
It is designed very specifically and
Right.
fine-tuned for recipe publishers, food bloggers, as well as just at-home cooks.
Okay. I
And
figured, but
focusing, yeah, focusing on that. And also the primary focus has really been within like WordPress food blogs,
hmm
as the tool that you can embed into there. Something else though that has come up, and um, we do have the technology ready to do it, but we haven't just pieced it together yet. There's been a number of people who haven't built out recipe blogs, but have recipes on YouTube, Instagram, or just these different places. So we have the infrastructure in place to give someone kind of a tool where they could connect their social medias and then have
hmm
our tool write out all of their recipes and bring their recipes into a written place. So
Cool.
that's something we've been looking at. But travel has come up a lot of travel bloggers
Yeah.
asking for a tool like this. So we have said it's probably the next thing on the roadmap we'd look to build. But for now, we are very focused on just
Okay.
the recipe blogger
Yeah, I
community.
just didn't know if you had something down, in your brains for future for other niches that are out there. Because I personally think that this is a fantastic tool. I love it. I think it integrates so nicely into your design and it's not obtrusive. And the information that you're sharing with the reader is, as a user of recipe sites, I find that very helpful. So from
Appreciate
my
that.
personal user experience in using other people's site, like when I'm looking for things to make for dinner and things like that, I find that information helpful.
Well, that's great to hear. Appreciate that. Yeah. No, I would say, yeah, travel would probably be the next niche that the tool would expand into.
Cool.
Awesome.
Cool, cool. Anything else you feel like food bloggers need to know to convert over and to get this installed on their site?
No, I would say the big thing, if you're interested in learning more, we are always happy to hop on a call one on one and walk you through the details and show you how to set things up and optimize things with Allspice on your site. And then, second, we have office hours at 12 p.m. Eastern time every Tuesday and Thursday. So that's open for anyone and everyone to join and ask any sort of questions or get help with anything.
Oh, that's cool.
Ooh, that is handy.
I did not know that. So that is helpful.
Yeah, we just started it last week, actually.
Oh,
So
okay, cool.
Okay.
yeah,
But
wanted
we
to.
haven't missed any. We couldn't have
Yeah.
made them before today.
No,
No,
we were a
no.
little busy.
Little
Yeah.
swamped, though.
Little busy.
Awesome.
That's fantastic. So, if our listeners want to get started with using Allspice or learn more about it, what is the best way for them to go about that other than joining into the office hours? How can they connect with you?
Yeah, my email is peter@allspicelabs.com. You can also go and fill out a contact form on our website at allspicelabs.com and go and create an account right there. At the moment, we are requiring just a brief 15-minute vetting call. This
Mm,
is a way for us to just make sure anyone that's joining the Allspice community and using this, we're vetting out and making sure. The big thing is just that they're a real publisher and not some AI blog.
Yep.
We've been warned by Mediavine and Raptive, the guys over there, that those exist and they've had to deal with that. So this is really just a vetting mechanism at the moment where
good.
you apply and then we just have a quick call and then we approve you and you're in.
I wasn't
I
aware
love
of that, but I mean, just because I met you at Tastemaker, so like I felt like that was probably the vetting process. Like I am a
Yeah,
real human and not a
exactly.
robot.
it. Right.
Um,
That's
but
how I met Peter because I signed up online and they're like, we need a quick, we need to have a face-to-face so that I know you're a person. I'm like, that's really cool.
I
So,
appreciate that. Yeah. I mean, because the AI slop is everywhere and they're just inundating. I mean, that's truly what has ruined Pinterest in my eyes.
well, and the time that it takes to do it, like listeners, I can't sing your praises enough because like the time that I'm so greedy with my time. Christina knows
Mhm.
this. Like I'm
She
very
is.
stingy with my time. I don't give it up very easily. And to be stacking these, especially as the word gets out and people are going to want to do this, to take that step really it is to benefit you, but really it's largely to benefit us, right?
Yeah.
Like the people that are using your platform so that it maintains that integrity. So the fact that you're sacrificing your time to do that it's wonderful. Thank you for doing it.
No, yeah, I appreciate that. And I also think just the larger ecosystem of the at-home cooks, right? Of the millions of people who will be users of this, if we're just able to then validate that for them, it
Mhm.
helps so much in the credibility of the types of recipes that then we could then feature and showcase these different publishers that are on the platform to know that they have a source of kind of trusted authenticity
Right.
in the recipes.
Oh, something we didn't talk about on the podcast, but I think we talked about on the call. So if someone's a user of the Allspice app, and they are, let's say they visit Christina's site, they visit my site, they visit a friend's site, and they've saved all these recipes, it's carrying the grocery list right across all of the sites.
Yeah. So if you're on Christina's website and you build out a grocery list called my April 16th grocery list, and you add 3 recipes to that, and then you log or you add a bunch of ingredients, and you build the grocery list there, and then you go to your site, you could log into your account and you have that grocery list saved. You're not seeing other publishers' recipes on your site as an end user, but you do have that connected grocery lists of saved grocery lists as well as like your pantry. So that's where like as a user, you have the benefit of a connected account of an ecosystem. Yeah.
That's super helpful,
What about meal plan? You
right?
have a meal planning option, don't you? Am I making that up in my mind?
It hasn't been released yet,
Okay.
but definitely pretty excited for that. I think it'll be a really helpful way for publishers to actually just create meal plans because we're building out in a way where you're going to have tools like filtering your different types of recipes and then kind of dragging and dropping them into a week um,
Mhm.
as just a really simple way to publish meal plans. But um, we have not released that yet.
Okay. Although, as quickly as you move, listeners, it may
Yeah.
be out by the time that this podcast episode goes live. No
Peter moves faster than we
Yeah,
promises.
do.
don't hold me to it.
No promises, but we are scheduled a few weeks ahead, and Peter works at light speed. So,
Give him an idea, he'll have it done by tomorrow.
Yeah, we'll see. This one's been in the pipeline, so hopefully we can get it out soon.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, there's so many great features, and I'm excited to see with what you're going to be coming out with. I mean, we've been able to tease a couple of things out of you, but I think that that's exciting because I think you guys are such forward thinking. And like Corinne said, you're pulling in the benefit of the creator and the end user. And I think when you take that holistic approach, the possibilities are endless.
Yeah, it's a win-win-win.
Yeah, for everybody involved.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's been fun so far, and it's awesome just to see the community get behind this and be so willing to kind of try things out and see what works. And now we're really getting to a point of being able to have a tool that readers are sending awesome feedback on and using. So it's definitely exciting to see it grow.
That's awesome.
That's awesome. So Corinne and I both recommend it. So we're both using it.
Well, kind of. I signed up and got like it's I have the plugin. I have not set up any of my buttons, so I'm not quite sure you can see it anywhere on my site yet, but I did
But maybe by the
we had a
time this goes
summit or
live.
something going on, then I
Yeah.
like got away from it. So
By the time this goes live,
by the time it goes live, you should be able to visit our sites and see it there.
I'm holding you accountable.
Yeah, we'll have the team get you all helped out with setup with the buttons.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Sure.
So any last thoughts for our listeners, Peter?
No, I think that's it. If you're interested, feel free to reach out. We're happy to hop on a call and yeah, or just try out the tool. I think that's the biggest thing is
Mhm.
finding some websites that have it, ask around, and then it's really at the point I think where you use it for a little bit and the tool's beginning to speak for itself. Yeah, that's what I'd leave it at.
And there's nothing lost in trying it. I mean, there's no cost, there's
Yeah,
no nothing. So,
So
give it
there
a
is a
spin.
cost. I don't want to confuse
there is a
people
cost.
there.
Well,
Uh, there is the Christina, since you were one of our first 10, it was really like the feedback of the people we didn't make pay, but it is a paid plugin. So just to not confuse anyone on listening.
gotcha.
Mhm. Although I think like I honestly think the it's a very modest subscription rate, but all the functionality you get, because Christina, you and I have played with lots of tools to try and
So many.
our readers these features and the engagement time, right? Like that has been one of the things I've been working on for the last couple of years is increasing engagement time on the site. And this obviously does that in a myriad of ways. Like I think you make your money back on it very easily if
Hmm.
you've got
Yeah,
any small, and it's based on your traffic. So if you've got less traffic, you're paying, right, Peter, am I wrong?
exactly. Yeah, no, exactly. So we really built it in a way where, well, one, we're only successful if the tool is successful and the publishers are successful. And so breaking the pricing out as well, where a small creator who's got 10,000 monthly visits is not paying as much as someone with 10 million per month. And so pricing is based off of those points, also of just how our infrastructure costs scale based on those points. And so it's flexible in that way. And then at the end of the day, it is designed to pay itself back. So increase
Hmm.
engagement, right? Like you're serving ads. And then we are also beginning to work with the different ad providers, Mediavine and Raptive, to just help with authenticated sessions. That way, giving them ways to serve those authenticated higher RPMs.
And the increased time on page. I mean, we all benefit from that.
For sure.
So
And to be
that's
clear, like anybody that's doing API calls, using OpenAI or Anthropic, like you pay for that. Like they're
hmm.
using a lot of tokens. I'm using all the wrong language because I'm only moderately like literate in AI, but like,
No,
right, like
you're
it's
right.
using
You're
a ton of
correct.
tokens and like that costs you. Like you have to cover your cost at least. So it's not like they're raking you over the coals so that they can go like off on vacations to Tahiti. Maybe you are, but
I'd
it
love to
doesn't.
be, but
Yeah, the rates are
yeah,
not set that way. The rates that really do appear to be covering the cost of running the data. So
yes, for
very
sure.
reasonable to me.
excellent.
I,
Well, thank you so much, Peter. This has been so enlightening. I can't wait to go in and tweak mine even more to make it more helpful for my readers. But we really appreciate taking the time to spend it with us today and explaining this awesome product to our listeners.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks both of you so much for having me on.
Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate it. And listeners, thank you for spending time with us today. Make sure you visit Allspice Labs, check it out. We both recommend it. We think it's awesome. And also, please leave a rating and a review for our show on your favorite podcast player, wherever you're listening, because it really helps us out and helps us get in front of more listeners.
If today's episode gave you clarity, direction, or even just one solid aha moment, that's your cue to take action.
Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss what's coming next. And if you found this helpful, please share it with a creator friend who needs to hear it. Smart creators build in communities.
And if you're ready to go deeper, whether that's through our mastermind, live events, or free resources, head to smartinfluencer.com and get on our list.
That's where we share the strategies, tools, and behind the scenes insights we don't always talk about on the podcast. Thanks for hanging out with us today. Now go build something smarter.